All right, Sean Bormet here with our post Big Ten's 5 questions. We had 6 place winners, 7 qualifiers. We had a champion in Jacob Cardenas. What were some of the big takeaways from Big Tens?
I mean, overall, I thought it was a real, very solid performance. As we've gone through the season, we've had challenges just with, roster depth and experience compared to some of these previous seasons we've had. So, I felt like the guys were progressing and really, sort of stepped up at different weights, won some big matches. Obviously, a tournament of that magnitude, there's, a handful of matches that, we fell short. But we also had a lot of guys step up and win matches that maybe they lost earlier in the season in dual meets, or just stepped up and beat guys that they haven't wrestled yet that were higher ranked or higher seeded. So overall, I felt like it was a real solid performance, a lot to build off, a lot of little things we can still fix between now and Philadelphia.
We had talked last week. I think only 3 guys had previous Big Ten championship experience. 7 were newcomers.
Yeah, 7 first-time wrestlers.
Including Jacob Cardenas, who went
Yeah.
out and won the whole thing. So, he avenged his only loss on the year, beat the #1 undefeated kid. What can you say about his performance?
Yeah, Jacob was super stingy, super consistent, very focused throughout the full length of every match. Really great mat awareness. Positionally, he wrestled really well. I think the thing I like is his finishing when he gets to the legs. His finishing percentage is really high. So some of those matches, in the semi with Barr and the finals with Buchanan. I mean, there's only a few open attacks. Very very tight, stingy matches with both guys. So when you get the opportunity, you got to finish and capitalize. And I thought Jacob did a great job. Positionally, he was moving really well. Explosive from the bottom position. So I just think with Jacob right now, the thing I liked about it is he was. We had sort of talked about the Big Tens, and that's one of the things that he's been excited about this year, being here at Michigan, is just being in the Big Ten, wrestling in front of big crowds, just the production and the build up of the Big Ten tournament. And he was, we talk about it a little bit at the tournament and behind the warm up area, and he was, just all smiles, soaking it in, just really loving it compared to, it's just, the conference he was in before, some great wrestling, but it's not the build up around it's not the same as the Big Ten conference. So he really enjoyed it. I thought he wrestled a really great tournament, and I was super excited for him. They had that new championship belt they broke out at the Big Ten, so that was one thing I told him before that match. You got to take the belt. You got to take the belt. So he was really excited.
Another big standout performer was Bo Mantanona, and his tournament debut. Got a couple bonus wins, got a couple highly ranked wins, took 3rd place. What'd you see out of Bo?
Really it was similar with Bo. I'd been watching him. Same thing, excited to be there, excited to compete. He was focused, getting to his offense. He had 2 pins right away to start the tournament, which is great. He's always been a big bonus point guy. It's one of the reasons we really recruited him and his brother, like the way they wrestle and how dangerous they are in positions. And he opened up with 2 pins right away. Fast pins, very exciting. He actually had the most falls in the least amount of time in the tournament.
Yeah.
So, but just wrestling to his offensive potential. Tight match early with Messenbrink. I feel like he is right in there from a technical standpoint and ability to wrestle. It's just being able to sustain that pace. He started to fall off after about the first 3 minutes, and that's something he's got to continue to work on and build before. For a freshman and in a very tough weight class, I thought, Bo, man, he really competed well. I like the fact that he was wrestling free and really just getting after his offense, getting after his attacks. He was trying to put points on the board, and it'll be important for him to continue to do that in Philadelphia.
So he's had 3 matches this year against Sparks, and it just seems like he's gotten better and better. Same with the Northwestern kid. Lost to him last year, then he beat him in the duel, and then he was beating him even worse when he defaulted out. So how have you seen him progress over the last 2 years?
I mean, he's just a really smart, crafty wrestler. Got a high wrestling IQ. He's really confident, really good in all three positions. Really, he's dangerous from all three positions. You know, even when he's on bottom, he's very dangerous. And guys feel it right away. You can sort of see it, especially if they haven't wrestled before. When he first gets on the mat with somebody who hasn't wrestled yet, and they start to feel him, you can just sort of see they're a little unsure where to grab, what positions are safe. So I thought, he really, like I said, he's constantly advancing. He's, positionally, he's getting a lot better. Controlling ties, he's getting a lot better. I thought he did a really good job riding at certain points. With the Sparks match for third, that was a little tighter match. He pinned him in the duel. I mean, he scored a bunch of points in the duel, pinned him first round to Big Tens, or second round to Big Tens, but that was a lot tighter. He got in a bunch of scoring positions early and didn't capitalize and actually get the takedowns called. And it got a little tighter going down the stretch of that match. But his composure was great. He fought off some hard attacks, got right back in on the legs, and just continued to pour on his offense at different times. So I thought his composure was really good.
All right, so I know you've said in the past that, man, those recovery days after Big Tens are some of the most important of the whole season. So what is the real point of emphasis? Recovering, obviously, and how have you seen it go in the last couple of days?
Yeah, so we got back late, fairly late Sunday night. Guys were off, just really doing recovery on Monday, Tuesday, and that looked a little different for each guy. But in general, we were off the mat, no training, just sort of rest, recovery, maybe some therapy, hot tub, cold tub, stretching. But it was very, very, very light. Just, at this point, coming off a tournament like that, it's really important that you let your body re-energize and sort of just let your mind re-energize. And so today we were back, early this morning we were back. It was our last sort of track cardio circuit workout, and really get the blood flowing, get them moving. We got to practice 3:30 today. That'll be a fairly light practice again, and then tomorrow we'll pick it up just a little bit. But rest and recovery at this point is a weapon. It's really valuable. These guys are in great shape, and it's really about just fine-tuning some positions. Brackets come out tonight, so we'll get to see sort of the matchups, and we'll watch a little film and just, have some individual time and some individual work on Saturday, Sunday. And, Monday's another recovery day, and then Tuesday we leave.
So what are the big messages at this point in the year to the guys?
I mean, the biggest thing right now is just making sure that they, they're rested, they're energized. We're fine-tuning so that they're really clear in like key aspects of the match and within their own wrestling and their own tactics, and just making sure that they are constantly thinking about the, really the excitement and the opportunity in front of them to, reach their goals and, just wrestle at a, really special event like the NCAA championships, and keep them really excited just about competition and making sure that they got a real, as healthy as possible as outlook on just competing on the big stage and wrestling freely at that NCAA tournament. I felt like they did a pretty good job of that at the Big Ten overall. When you look at Sergio Lemley and Josh Heinzelman, look at some of the other guys that we have qualified. I mean, those guys really, I felt like they did a really good job of that, wrestled really well. Still some little things we can keep improving on, and that's really the other thing. And even though we're resting, recovering, the times we are on the mat right now, we're still emphasizing improvement. A lot of little things we can improve on between now and the time we hit the mats in Philadelphia. So we're keeping the pedal down.
All right, Sean. Thank you. Go Blue.
Go Blue.